Hey, up next to the Marmy Rock Show, glad to have Johnny Lima back on the show. Johnny, singer, songwriter, producer, engineer, all kinds of stuff. Johnny, welcome back.
What's up, K-Rock?
Hey, man, you tell me what's up, because you got something pretty big in the works right here about some music that maybe people haven't had available to them for a little while.
Yeah, my debut album, which came out back in 1996 and has been out of print since 99, is being reissued along with my third album, Made in California, which has been out of print. I think recently it's been Made in California has been bootlegged in Russia, but really it's been out of print. And so Melodic Rock Records is going to release it as a double CD. And they're going to have 500 copies, and I'm going to have 500 copies to sell. So from my website, and so mine are going to obviously be signed and numbered. And so I'm pretty excited about that, because a lot of people have been asking me for many years, all throughout my career, where can I get your debut? Where can I get Made in California? And well, now they can.
So tell people a bit more about how they can get one of the signed copies if they want one of those. Where do they go?
They just have to go to www.johnnylima.com/store. So it's in my store on my website, and I ship all over the world. Shipping in the U.S. is free. Unfortunately, I have to charge $20 to ship it to anywhere else, like Europe, South America. Yeah.
Hey, talk a little bit about that. When you look back at your career, it seems like for some reason you kind of hit it big over in Europe, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's where it started for me, because I hooked up with Now and Then Productions, which was an English company, and they brought me out there twice to perform at the Gods of AOL back in '99 and 2000. So that's where my solo career really began, and I guess that's why I have a bigger market in Europe than I do here.
So let's talk about some of the music that's coming back out. A tune I wanted to ask you about that's been one of my favorites is Welcome to My Paradise. So tell me a little bit about that tune.
That was recorded so long ago that I don't even really know what it's about or how I came up with that song. I do sort of remember thinking I wanted more of like a fantasy type of song, like kind of like I kind of pictured that, some like Wizard of Oz kind of guy saying, "Come on in, welcome to my paradise," kind of thing, and where there's like, I forget the words, but the words are pretty trippy. It's something other than the typical breakup song or I love you type of song that I'm known for.
So it's been a little bit now, but folks that don't know, you do have a pretty cool acoustic album out. Why don't you tell folks about your acoustic record?
Yeah, that one's called Unplugged Players. It was released last year, I believe, beginning of 2005. Oh, shoot, we're in 2017 now.
Time flies.
Yeah, it was... I think it was 2016, the beginning of that year. And yeah, it's an album of original songs. All the songs but two were specifically written for this acoustic guitar. And what else? That's about it. I'm proud of it lyrically. I think it's my best stuff, and even from a songwriting perspective, that's my best work. But that's just my opinion.
So, what do you prefer playing? Because I know you go around, you've done a lot of acoustic shows and a lot of plugged in. Do you have a preference of the acoustic versus the plugged in to perform?
Well, there's pros and cons for both. Let's say an acoustic show. What I love about an acoustic show is I can always hear my vocals. Versus when I'm playing, because I don't use in-ears and never thought about it. And every time I go up on stage, it doesn't matter how big it is, how great the sound system is, I never can hear my vocals well enough to, nail every part. And so from that perspective, I like doing acoustic shows better. But the scary thing about doing acoustic shows is you can't hide behind a band, so to speak.
Yeah.
So if you miss a word or you totally screw up a verse, everybody's going to know about it. Whereas live, you can just kind of maybe turn the mic towards the audience.
Never seen anybody do that. Hey, I saw you had like some festival dates and all back in November. What are your future plans? What do you got in the near future here?
Actually, there's no plans for the future. I actually made the decision back in June that 2016 was going to be it for me for a while, and so yeah, I have no plans to perform anymore. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do it anymore, but right now, I mean, yeah, there's no plans, and that's it. I mean, Germany was so killer that if I were to have a last show, I would want that one to be it. So really, I mean, if there's nothing that's going to be offered that's going to be better than that, I'm definitely not taking it.
Now, do you see, I know you've got kind of your start producing and mixing and all that. Are you going to do any of that? Or are you going to leave the music industry altogether?
No, I never quit doing music. I'm still going to write whenever I'm inspired to write. If there's an artist out there that I really believe in, I'm open to production work. But so, I mean, I'm probably still going to be something in the business. I just don't want to perform anymore.
So I was looking back at your bio, and I saw a fun little story about when you were a little kid, and did you actually still remember that evening staying up late watching Kiss?
Yeah, and I remember what I was sitting on too.
Do you remember what they were playing?
A reclining chair. What was that?
Do you remember? Was there a particular song? Like, do you have that vivid of a memory? Like, was there one song that caught you?
No, I don't remember the song. I just remember, where I was at, where I was sitting, and how excited I was. Because they were playing the commercials, all day, and I think it came on at 10 o'clock or something like that. But yeah, that was my band.
The other thing I was kind of thought was interesting was looking back. I noticed that your parents came from Portugal, and you won some Portuguese music awards. Is there any? Are you still a big guy over in Portugal?
I don't know how big I am in Portugal, but yeah, it's an amazing experience. Yeah, it was an International Portuguese Music Award, which people call me Portuguese Grammy, and it was just surreal. Having, going up on stage and I have never been that nervous up on stage before, hard to believe it happened.
So do you go to live shows yourself? You're out there, you're in San Jose, I believe, right? Is that where you're at? Looking?
Yeah.
Do you go to live shows yourself?
Exactly.
Or who do you like to go see? Like what
Not
style?
Really. I mean, I really don't. Very few live shows because I'm tired of sitting behind somebody who's got their iPhone up in the air the whole show. I mean, the last show I went to, I think, was Bryan Adams, and I left after the fourth song because I just couldn't deal with that, And for like local shows, my wife and I sometimes go out and we'll go have a drink, but I rarely stay and watch the whole band because I'm not really a party guy. Those who see me like after a show are like, yeah, right. But really, unless I'm on tour and having a great time.
So Johnny Lima, man, it's always good to have you on the show, and I stay in touch. I know you're not going to be performing much, but if you've got production and things you're doing, you're always welcome on the show. And I want to remind
people. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you're always welcome as a guest. And I want to remind people that the '96 self-titled debut and Made in California are coming out as a double disc. And you can go to johnnylima.com and pick those up. So, man, Johnny, thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thank you, K-Rock. I appreciate your support.